Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. We only have special guests, and today I think we really had to hurry because actually we have Miss Santa Claus as a guest. Yes, she gave us probably 5 minutes of her time, and we all know she is super busy around that time. When you think of Miss Santa Claus, the magic season is here, but Miss Santa Claus is the forgotten planner behind the scenes. How can this be? Where is she? It took a little while to get her on for this podcast. Miss Santa Claus must have a role in the household. Indeed, she's probably busy working on dozens of projects, which explains why you don't see her posing for Instagram pictures all the time. She certainly is an influencer, but probably behind the scenes. Actually, somebody has to do the work in the back office, right? I've seen Santa Claus dozens of times in the Macy's Thanksgiving parade in New York City. Once, some TV anchor commented that even Miss Santa Claus came to join Mr. Santa Claus this year. Wow, that must have been one of the rare moments. Miss Santa Claus doesn't get enough credit for all her amazing work. Think about it. I'm convinced that she plays a major role in all the planning involved in building and maintaining a global organization. To begin with, according to legend, Miss Santa Claus is in charge of baking. Baking, of course, requires precise advanced planning. This kind of planning demands critical thinking ahead, financial savvy, customer service, learning, and coaching for sure. Let's go into a little more details before we speak with Miss Santa Claus what her real tasks are. And I'm sure some of the tasks that she does sound very similar or familiar to you. Critical thinking. How many cookies do we need this year to fill all the hungry little people's mouths? Planning ahead. When do you have to start making the dough? I would assume Miss Santa Claus doesn't bake out of the box and that all her ingredients are fresh. Financial savvy. How much money do you need to earn throughout the year in order to buy all the ingredients for baking? Miss Santa Claus needs to be a fine forecaster and who's willing to take a few risks. Customer service. This is a job in itself. As a business leader, you want to make sure you have the best people on the phone or politely answer email. They shouldn't sound like they're simply following a script, and they should be friendly and accommodating of clients' wishes. You can learn a lot from your customer experiences and comments. Learning, listening and leading is always important. I think Miss Santa Claus is eager to learn new technologies. Yes, she is on all the social media platforms. She understands the modern digital space, and she's interested in all the good things happening around the world. Learning is a big part of her life. After all, she needs to be able to read all the letters and mails and posts she receives in different languages from all the children around the world. What about coaching? This is the biggest job for Miss Santa Claus, as she needs to have a global view of the operation and fine-tune processes for all involved all the time. Miss Santa is like the CEO, CFO, COO, CIO, and CMO or CXO all combined in one person. Think about what each of these roles look like in your own life. To begin with, in many ways, you are the CEO of your own life. Well, let's talk to Miss Santa Claus. I know we don't have so much time. Miss Santa Claus, what do you think is most relevant in your job? How do you recruit for your team? What character traits do they need to have?
Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here, even though I don't have so much time. When we talk about recruiting, I need to have a solid team. People need to be motivated. They need to be forward-thinking. And they need to be team players. This is not always easy to find them. But we also need to have a diverse team.
Thank you, Miss Santa Claus. These are really relevant character traits that we see for your talents that you have throughout the year for your team.
I also want to make sure that the team is ready to follow my instructions, but I want to make sure that they are independent. They also can add their own ideas.
Miss Santa Claus, how do your cookies look like, and are you using fresh dough for it?
Sure, we use fresh dough. What do you think? These have to be healthy and happy cookies for everybody who needs a little pick-me-up.
Miss Santa Claus, what is top of the wish list that you see throughout the years?
I see many times people say they're so busy, they don't have time for themselves. What I would like to say is like, give a gift to self. We don't need more stuff. Give a gift to yourself or to a friend of yours.
How do we do that?
Book a time with yourself on your busy schedule. I know everybody has a schedule on their smartphone. Book a time with yourself. You can add the description of meet with Miss Santa Claus. Why not? I'm happy to talk to you.
What else, Miss Santa Claus, do you think is important for the new year who's coming up?
If you have a dream, follow it. And be authentic. Be yourself. Learn. It's about learning, listening, and leading. Don't give up. I'm here to help you. So why don't you join us, me and Mr. Santa Claus, for a happy holiday season?
Well, Miss Santa Claus, we don't want to take up too much of your busy times. I know it smells very nice in your baking studio. So we wish you a Merry Christmas season. And just one more thing that I want to share with you. When you look at the emoji library, your emoji was only added in 2016 versus Mr. Santa Claus was already there in 2010.
Oh, well, women have been in the background. It's okay. We do great work. We're happy, and we're happy to motivate others. So thank you so much for having me. I'll be back next year. I have to get back to the kitchen now and make sure we have all the gifts ready and all the cookies ready for the upcoming holidays.
Thank you so much, Miss Santa Claus, for taking the time. I'm wondering what other questions the listeners might have. Write it in the comments and maybe we can send a letter or this podcast to Miss Santa Claus and she might actually respond to us. So never give up, be authentic, and it's about learning, listening, and leading for a happy and healthy 2025. What are you taking away from this episode with Miss Santa Claus? She's a real person. She's tough when it comes to talent, recruitment, and selection. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday or even more with very special people. And Take It from the Ironwoman is also the book Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Download it or get it in your local bookstore. We wish you a happy holiday season and see you back every Monday coming this year and next year. Thank you for your support. Write a review, like us on your preferred platform where you listen to podcast episodes.